So Marvel's Fantastic Four first steps is collapsing fast, and the second weekend numbers, as you all know, are looking even worse. Now, I've never seen a Marvel movie fall this flat so fast, and Fantastic Four came in with all this hype, and now people are already checking out. You see, Marvel needed a win for Fantastic Four to prove that the brand still had something left, but honestly, it's just not connecting. Now, between the weak word of mouth and the awkward press tour, Fantastic Four is turning into one of Marvel's most disappointing launches in years. Now, the only positive buzz this weekend is around Naked Gun, a comedy that's where, we are. And people are just starving for anything that feels remotely like the early 2000s humor or before that. From what's being said, being in early reviews and stuff, this movie just might actually deliver that. Now, Jeremy Johns and stuff called it raunchy and old school, and if that's even half true, then it's going to do better than with audience than the last Marvel effort. I mean, that's how bad things are right now. Now we're rooting for a throwback comedy remake to steal or attention from what should have been a flagship Marvel project like Fantastic Four. Now I'm gonna make myself a correction right quick. It's not a remake, more like a continuation, if you will. Okay. Now, honestly, that's not a sign of a healthy franchise right there. You see, Fantastic Four actually needed this second weekend to go ahead and stabilize. But the projection for this drop is brutal. A 55% to a 60% decline is expected, and that puts Fantastic Four in worse shape than Superman, which itself didn't light the world on fire. Now, Superman at least held decently in the U.S., and that gave Warner Brothers something to cling to. Fantastic Four, on the other hand, doesn't even have that. It came in strong at $117 million, but it's sliding fast, and that's not a sustainable trend. And it's a warning shot across the bow for Marvel. They keep acting like the brand still has pull, but the numbers don't lie. You see, the current estimates are ugly, and Fantastic Four is tracking to make between $45 million and $52 million this weekend, which is a terrible look when you started at over $117 million. And it's not just a bad drop, it's a bad drop with no real competition eating into your audience. Now, Marvel is pretending that this is fine, but it's not. The dip is even worse than Superman's 53% decline in week two. And that movie had people arguing in circles, still does. And Fantastic Four barely even sparked that kind of conversation. It's just fading out quietly. And that might be the worst fate, all for a supposed tempo, tentpole, whatever. Now, let's be honest, neither Fantastic Four nor Superman is doing great. Both are underwhelming, but for different reasons. Now, Superman right now is divisive. Fantastic Four is forgettable. Marvel has tried to sell this as the best movie that they've done in years. But the bar is just so low that doesn't even mean anything anymore. Now, even if it means it's better than Eternals or the Marvels, that's not something to brag about. Fantastic Four needed to be excellent, but instead, it's just bland, okay? And that's why the Marvel name doesn't really carry the weight it used to. Now, nobody is really excited anymore. Now, Superman is getting love from some fans and hate from others, which at least shows passion, okay? Fantastic Four doesn't really even inspire that. It's just a shrug of a movie what makes you shrug your shoulders and stuff, and you walk out thinking about how little you care. And when people looked around when they saw it, a lot of people seem to feel the same way. I haven't seen it and stuff, but that's the real issue. It's not hated, it's not loved, it's just there. And Marvel can't afford just another just there from Fantastic Four. This was supposed to kick off the next era. Instead, it's struggling to stay afloat 1 week after launch, okay? Now, a lot of reviewers are out there saying that the characters are weak, Reed Richards is barely a factor. Go and they say to go back and watch the old Fox movies. Reed actually did stuff with his powers, and in this version, we see his brain more than his stretching. Okay, Sue and Johnny got a little action. Ben pulls a ship. That's it. I mean, that's your Fantastic Four team. Reed is just the guy with anxiety, they're saying, and you spend the whole movie waiting for him to do something cool. Honestly, he never does. Now, Marvel had one job, make the Fantastic Four feel like superheroes once again, and apparently they failed. And this was supposed to be the big introduction for the next part. Now, Pedro Pascal's not helping either. In fact, he's hurting. You see, he's running around acting like a creep during a press tour, and every time he shows up with Vanessa Kirby, it looks like they're about to make out, basically, and not in a charming way. It's actually awkward and a bit forced. Pascal keeps saying bizarre things in interviews, and now in this article here from thatpopplace.com, he's calling Robert Downey Jr. Daddy Doomsday. That's what Marvel is promoting right now. This is how they're trying to sell Fantastic Four. Not with excitement or story, but with cringe and internet slang that nobody wants to hear from a middle-aged actor. I mean, honestly, it's weird. It's really weird. Now, they're calling him the internet's daddy now, and it's like that's something that anyone has was asking for. And it's not just once, it's a whole campaign now. Pedro Pascal was as daddy, Daddy Doomsday, capital D, capital D Daddy. This is what Marvel thinks the audience wants. They're pushing memes and buzzwords instead of quality, and it's backfiring. You see, the people are noticing and the interviews are going viral, but not in a good way. You see, Marvel is getting attention for all the wrong reasons, and the Fantastic Four is suffering because of it. Now, this kind of behavior is nothing new, as you all know. It goes back to The Last of Us press cycle where the daddy stuff first started. Now it's infecting Marvel too. Now you've got Pascal calling Robert Downey Jr. Daddy Doomsday like it's actually some sort of edgy joke. It's not edgy for one. It's actually gross, and he's about to be 60 years old soon, and he's 50 right now, but you have to act your age. Nobody wants to hear that from a grown man. It's not charming, it's not funny, it's uncomfortable, and Marvel is letting this be the tone for their Fantastic Four campaign, unfortunately. Now, even if fans are calling it out, you got people saying that, it's creepy. You also got people saying it makes them want to actually avoid Marvel movies altogether. And honestly, this is not just nitpicking. It's just a real reaction to a bizarre media rollout. And you can't sell Fantastic Four on cringe and call it charisma. Now, Pascal's off-screen antics are turning people away. And when the product itself is already mediocre, this stuff just, makes it worse. And Marvel has a Fantastic Four problem, and Pedro Pascal is a big part of it. But the worst part is none of this is actually helping the movie itself. You see, Fantastic Four isn't getting any traction from the press. If anything, it's shrinking faster. Every time Pedro Pascal opens his mouth, the internet roasts him. Every time a new clip or interview drops, the people cringe. Marvel wanted buzz, and what they got was simply embarrassment. And that's before you even walk out the box office numbers. When we talk about the box office numbers. Now, the daddy meme doesn't really sell tickets. It just sells memes, and nobody's buying right now. Okay. So this weekend is actually going to tell the story itself. If Fantastic Four drops off hard, there's no coming back. It needs legs, and it probably won't have them. You see, it's not catching on with families, and it's not trending with fans or even women out there. It's not even staying relevant online beyond people mocking it. Now, Marvel needed Fantastic Four to actually launch a new era, but instead they've got Pedro Pascal making weird comments and a script that barely even showcases the team itself. Now, it's not a comeback, it's just a slow motion collapse at this point. But the front loading is obvious right now. Fantastic Four made most of its money in the first few days and has been sliding ever since. Saturday and Sunday saw a big dip, and it's not how hits behave. It's, I mean, hits build. This one collapsed early, and that's a clear sign of poor word of mouth. Now, Marvel can spin it however they want, but the reality is that Fantastic Four just doesn't have support from the audience. And if you've already seen it, I mean, there's no reason to go back for more. Okay. Now, honestly, Marvel just simply needs to go ahead and figure out what they actually want Fantastic Four to be. Right now, it's all over the place. You've got bad marketing, weird performances, and a story that doesn't really stick. Now, the fans aren't really rallying behind it. The media is also confused, and the cast is making things worse. I mean, at this point, it might as well say it's a mess, a Marvel mess. And when your supposed flagship team is falling before your eyes, you've actually got a franchise wide problem. Now, Marvel had thought they had a winner. Well, they don't. You see, Fantastic Four was supposed to fix things, but instead, it exposed how broken Marvel really is. You see, they can't really rely on branding anymore. They can't hide behind hype. The numbers are public, the audience has spoken, and the verdict is in. Fantastic Four is just another Marvel flop. Maybe not as loud as some others, but just as damaging. The movie's not hated, but it's not loved. It's just ignored. And in this business, that's definitely a death sentence. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button, share the video far wide across social media, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell for future uploads, notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.